All right, so moving on to example 2, it says find side A in the triangle shown. So once again, looking at what we know, establishes what we're going to use. So it is a right triangle, so we can use one of these techniques we see. I know a side measure, I know an angle measure. So that means I'm able to determine it with the black steps here. One acute angle, one side. 61 acute, one side measure known. Okay. So again, if I start with the first step, it says find the other angle by subtracting from 180. So again, if I call this angle A to give it a name, A plus, all right, so 90 plus 61 is 151. So A plus 151 equals 180. We chop the 151 off, and we get A is equal to 29. Again, on step 2, it says determine opposite adjacent hypotenuse for one of the two acute angles. Again, it does not matter which one you choose, just make sure you choose one and go with that. So, Kevin, you pick this time. You want the 29 or the 61?
29.
29. All right, so Kevin picked 29. So, looking at 29, if I go across the triangle, A is across from 29, so A is the opposite side. The right angle is here, so the hypotenuse, I'm going to call it H for hypotenuse, is that side. And then hypotenuse and opposite have been identified, so the third side must be the adjacent side. And identify opposite adjacent hypotenuse on the picture. Always draw the picture on these problems too. Draw yourself a little right triangle on your paper so you can write up all this stuff on it. Okay, step 3, we're going to write all three trig ratios for the angle we've chosen. So the angle we chose was 29, so my trig ratio is using SOHCAHTOA. Now before I do SOHCAHTOA this time, let's focus on what we can't find. So looking at what we don't know, everybody sees we don't know the opposite side A, we don't know the hypotenuse H. So if I don't know the opposite or the hypotenuse, that means I'm going to throw out the sign on this one. Again, if you write it out, you'll have an unworkable portion anyway, so it's simple enough just to say let's not write that one down. So cosine and tangent are both going to help us find stuff. So we got cosine. Again, it's very important. Cosine of the angle we picked, cosine of 29 degrees equals adjacent, which is 13, over hypotenuse, which is H. The tangent of the angle we chose, 29, equals the opposite A over the adjacent 13. So be very cautious in how you write these out. That we picked an angle. I usually circle the angle I picked to remind myself that that's important when I go writing the trig ratios. Then I grab my calculator and I evaluate the cosine of 29 and the tangent of 29. So cosine of 29 equals that, and tangent of 29 equals that. So I'm going to come over here and change those. Cosine of 29 is 0.8746. That's over 1. Tangent of 29 is going to be 0.5543. And again, what we're doing over here with these is we're creating proportions, and proportions are solved by cross multiplication. So this proportion has 0.8746 up top being multiplied by H equals this product 1 times 13. Now in the previous problem we had A equaled X equaled at that point. Well, this doesn't say H equals, it says 0.8746 H equals, so I have to divide by 0.8746. So 13 divided by 0.8746 comes out to 14.86. And notice I just took the answer on my calculator, rounded to 2 decimal places. So it's 863. 3 keeps the 6 at the same level, right? On the other one, I cross multiply, get 1 times A is, of course, A, and 0.5543 times 13 comes out to 7.21. Again, just rounding my final answer on the calculator screen to 2 decimal places. 7.205, 5 makes the 0 go up 1 to 7.21. So, once again, task was find A equals 7.21, but again, I'd like you to go ahead and find everything. So, 29 degrees is the other angle, and find both other sides. So, that's what I'd like you to do. Follow the step-by-step process here, get good at finding all the missing parts of a right triangle.